What's going on, biology people? It's your boy Brendan, and today I'm going to be doing a biological review of the song Crab Rave. Now, it's a pretty interesting song, turned into a meme, of course, of crabs dancing. However, after watching the video numerous times, I've seen some very worrisome aspects to this video that need to be pointed out. Now, this first frame, at 0 seconds, you can see that there are a lot of birds around here. Now, these birds, they're just black silhouettes as far as we can tell. However, based on the region, it can be inferred that these birds are seagulls. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but we'll get into it. This is another scene I wanted to pause that really quickly. This is the back of the island. The view that we had at the 000 seconds of the video was the front of the island. This is the back. Look at all these birds. Okay, this bird population is uncontested and therefore thriving. Now, why is it thriving? How is it able to grow? We'll get into it. Okay, this is the very first part of worrisome data other than the seagulls. So, all these crabs, they have the same size claws. I keep getting blurry shots, but that's okay, because you can see it here. They all have the same size claws. Now, in fiddler crabs, it is very common for the male to have a larger claw. This is used as a way to attract a mate, and that is how they find someone to reproduce. Now, all these crabs have the same size claws. We'll get into it. Alright, 3, 2, 1, boom. This crab is larger than that crab. Now, there are a few things that can be inferred here. The first thing is that this crab could possibly be a female, whereas these two could be males because of the size difference. In nature, it is common for the male to be larger than the female. That's just how nature works. Well, for the most part, there are actually a lot of instances where the male is a lot smaller. I digress. But as you can see, it could just be that this crab is smaller than that crab, and they're the same gender. In people, you can see that there are a lot of people of the same gender who are smaller than the others. And that's okay. We don't discriminate. However, I'm going to against these crabs, but we'll get into that. Okay, here's another scene. Here's a crab, here's a crab, and here's a crab. There are 3 different sizes. Now, the thing with that is these size differences, this small crab, and all the crabs that are small are easy pickings for those seagulls. So, the thing is that this crab population is feeding that seagull population. That seagull population isn't even at its peak. It can still grow because it has the resources it needs to thrive. It has the room. It has the air. It just needs to be able to reproduce at a rate that the crabs cannot. And that is why I'm worried. Now, once again, it can be inferred that these are males because of their size. Or, it can also be inferred that they're all the same species, all the same gender, except, this one just got the short end of the stick. This one got the short end of the stick. It's called natural selection. They're going to get picked off. But we'll get into that. Once again, just wanted to point out that all these crabs have the same size claws. Not all crab species have that defining large claw that the fiddler crab does. However, based on some research that I've done, these crabs are very, very similar to the Christmas Island crabs. The ones that storm the beaches, just like how they are doing now. That is a very important detail, but we'll get into that. Okay, look at the skyline, guys. There's nothing there. At the beginning of the video, which was barely a minute ago, you could see that the air was full of birds. They're lying in wait for these crabs to finish dancing, because this dancing, it is tiring them out. This dancing is a genetic mutation that is causing these crabs to be deficient in what they do, and that is survival. Shall we proceed? But we'll get into that. Once again, another clear view of the sky. Not a black speck in sight. Just want to point it out again. I'm not going to do it again, so don't worry. Also, for having just stormed the beaches of Normandy, these beaches are pretty crab-free. So, if I had to guess, the seagulls got their pickings done. But that's just an inference. We'll get into that. I also wanted to point out that the time is changing. So this island isn't immune to time. However, because the sun is setting, this is a common trait in sharks, by the way. Sharks are most common to go hunting at about dawn and dusk. So, perhaps these birds follow predatorial traits of the shark, because it is the apex predator of this island. That is an inference, we'll get into that. Oh, what's this? They're back. And look, they're spreading towards the water as well, almost as if they're searching for food. But they don't need to look much further than the beaches. We'll get into that. Now is it just me, or does this crab population look a bit thinner than from the first time that we saw it storming the beaches? It's almost as if these seagulls have claimed the crabs that they've wanted, i.e. the small ones. As we can see, these are all about the same size. It's not a decent representation of the population, but it's all we have. It's almost as if the seagulls ate all the smaller ones and proceeded on with their lives. Okay. So, they are all grouped up in one spot, and look who's looming around. This is very, very interesting. Now, for being a crab species that come out of a cave together and dance together, it's very bizarre that this one crab would be dancing alone. Now, perhaps all of his friends were picked off by the seagulls, and now he's a lonesome crab. Or maybe there are other things, but we'll get into that. More lonesome crabs. We'll get in. Oh, what's this? More seagulls looming in the distance. Perhaps they've gotten their fill of food for the day. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that these crabs, they are also in the water, therefore meaning that they are amphibious crabs. What did we see the birds doing earlier in the video? Swooping down into the water. It's almost as if the birds were looking for an easy snack to grab. I also wanted to point this out. This island, this tropical island that's meant to be in the middle of the ocean, is right off the coastline of a lighthouse. This is very important to tell because seagulls live around lighthouses. Therefore, these seagulls are definitely seagulls, and these seagulls eat crabs. I also wanted to point out, though, that more crabs must have come out of the cave because there are a lot more here than when we last saw them. It does look as though the crowd has been thinned as they retreat back to the cave. Now, here's the thing with this video. All these crabs, if we've inferred that they are all females, they cannot reproduce, they cannot dance anymore once all the seagulls have picked them off. This crab rave will turn into a seagull rave. That is the sad reality that these crabs are living in, and they are trying desperately to keep their dancing up to a potential of 10, whereas Darwin has stated that it is a 1. Thank you for tuning in to Biological Review with Brendan. Till next time.